You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
All right. Hello and welcome back. You are listening to The Vocal Technologist, and it is finally Product Thursday.
Finally.
I have to laugh, though, because for all the, breathless hype about AI revolutionizing our schedules here in 2026, it still took, 3 attempts for my calendar agent to agree with your calendar agent on a time? I think they got stuck in some kind of politeness loop.
It's the ultimate irony of our times, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have all this massive compute models that can do, protein folding.
Uh-huh.
But getting 2 people in a room is still the hardest problem to solve.
Truly. But hey, we made it. And today we are looking at a really strange kind of pivotal moment for the industry. It feels like software has never been cheaper to build.
Oh, not even close.
You can basically speak an app into existence while you're making coffee, but at the same time, it's never been harder to sell or manage or even just understand.
That's the paradox of February 2026 in a nutshell. We are just drowning in capability, but kind of starving for clarity. If I had to sum up what we've been tracking, it's that we are moving from building features into this new era of managing populations of agents.
Okay. Managing populations of agents.
And that shift is breaking everything. Valuations, productivity, how we even design things.
Let's unpack breaking everything, because that is a big claim. I mean, I was looking at the numbers from that Clouded Judgment report from last month, and it seems to hold up.
Yeah.
The headline was basically, software is dead. Again. We hear that every few years, but this time, with SaaS valuations falling across the board, it feels different.
Yeah.
Serious. What's happening?
It is serious. And yeah, the title is provocative, but the logic underneath it is actually pretty sound. To get why valuations are dropping while AI is exploding, you have to look at this concept called terminal value.
Right. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't live in spreadsheets, terminal value is what? The estimated value of a company way out in the future, right?
Yeah.
Long-term cash flow.
Exactly. It's the market saying, we believe this company is still going to be dominant 10 years from now. But right now, the market is having a crisis of faith.
Why?
Because AI has made the act of building software so incredibly cheap. The moat, that defensive barrier that kept competitors out, it just evaporates when the cost of code goes to zero.
So the moat used to be, hey, it took us 5 years and $10 million to build this. And now the moat is a prompt.
That's the crisis. The barrier to entry is gone. If a competitor can clone your core features in a weekend with AI, why would an investor have any confidence in your long-term retention? Why pay a 20x multiple for you today if 3 startups can copy you next week for pennies?
And that ties right into the hard truths for B2B piece we were looking at. It talks about this winner-take-most dynamic where the middle of the market is just getting crushed.
It's getting crushed. Because if the software is easy to replicate, only the best version wins, or really the version that integrates the best. Agents are creating this dynamic where they just gravitate to the most effective tool.
An agent doesn't care about your marketing or your brand.
Not at all. It cares about API latency, success rate, uptime. It's ruthlessly efficient.
So if I'm a product manager listening to this, the realization is that building the thing, the actual delivery part, that's not the hard part anymore.
Correct. The bottleneck has shifted. For 20 years, the bottleneck was engineering capacity. We can't build it fast enough.
Right.
Now, delivery is almost instant. The real constraints in 2026 are judgment, incentives, and what some people are starting to call civic responsibility.
Civic responsibility. That sounds like it belongs in a political science class, not a tech meeting. What does that mean for shipping code?
Well, think about it. When you aren't just coding a tool, but releasing autonomous agents into a network, you have to think about the downstream effects. As coding gets cheaper, discerning what to build becomes the real scarce resource.
So you're not just managing a code base, you're managing behavior.
Exactly. Which is a perfect segue into this idea of the agent ecosystem. You asked what managing populations looks like. A whole different way of thinking about design.
Population level thinking.
Right.
Okay, give me an example. How is that different from how we design an app today?
Well, today, most design is, user-centric. One human, one screen. But when AI agents operate at scale, they create these huge system-wide effects. You can't just design for one user anymore. You have to design for how your agent interacts with my agent and how they both interact with the platform.
It sounds less like UI design and more like ecology.
In a way, yeah. You're building a digital terrarium. And to keep that terrarium from collapsing, we're seeing this huge resurgence of the jobs to be done pattern, JTBD.
I love JTBD. That's old school Clayton Christensen, right? You don't buy a drill, you hire a drill to make a quarter-inch hole.
Exactly. But now you apply that to an agent. A strong system starts with a really clear job and a small set of specific tools. You don't just give the agent access to the internet.
You give it a wrench and a screwdriver.
Right. But the critical loop, and this is the part most teams miss, is verification.
Verification, just checking the work.
Yes, but systematically.
Yeah.
You need a loop that turns a one-off execution into continuous improvement. The agent does the job, the human verifies the outcome, and that data tunes the agent for next time. That loop is the product. Without it, you just have a parrot that makes mistakes and never learns.
So the human's role shifts from doer to verifier.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Until the verification can be verified, but that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Let's avoid that rabbit hole for now and talk about a term that came up this week that sounded like it was straight out of science fiction. Latent space engineering.
Ah, yes. This is fascinating, and it's really important to separate this from prompt engineering, which I think most people get by now.
Right. Prompt engineering is just asking the right question.
Latent space engineering is much deeper.
Can you define latent space for us first? I see that term all over X, but I'm not sure everyone gets what it is.
Sure. So imagine a huge multi-dimensional map. Every concept the AI knows, apple, gravity, melancholy, is a point on that map. Similar concepts are close together. That map is the latent space. It's the model's internal picture of reality.
Okay, so it's the terrain of the AI's brain.
Good way to put it. So latent space engineering is about using emotional, stylistic, and motivational cues to navigate that terrain, to shape the AI's mental frame.
Wait, emotional cues? Are you telling the AI it's having a bad day?
Or that it's an expert architect who cares deeply about structural integrity. It turns out, by framing the task with these softer cues, you can push agents into much more effective modes of reasoning. You're not just giving instructions, you're setting a persona.
That is wild. It's like method acting for software. You give the AI a backstory so it performs better.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
It's recognizing that these models respond to nuance in a way that feels a lot like human motivation. Treat it like a bored intern, you get bored intern work.
Okay, but let's flip the coin. Because while we have this rigorous latent space engineering, we've also got this other trend people are warning about, vibe coding.
Ah, yes, vibe coding.
It sounds so cool, right? I'm just coding on vibes, but everyone seems to think this is a huge trap.
It is a massive trap. Vibe coding is this idea that you can just, iterate with an AI based on a feeling until the app looks right. And the AI is so good at generating polished code that you get something slick almost instantly. But vibe coding is not need finding.
Explain that difference.
Need finding is the hard work of identifying a real human problem that needs a solution. It's empathy, interviews, observation. Vibe coding just skips all that. Just because you can build something in seconds doesn't mean anyone actually has that problem.
It's the danger of low friction, isn't it? When building was hard, you really had to justify it.
Precisely. That friction was a filter. We have to remember, AI removes building constraints. It does not remove user constraints.
Yeah.
Humans still have real problems in limited time. If you ignore need finding because the coding is so easy, you're just making digital waste.
Digital waste. Ouch. Okay, speaking of the human element, there's this fear that AI might be making us, dumber, or at least slower learners.
It's a valid concern. The research suggests AI slows down learning per task. If the AI writes the first draft of your code, you're not wrestling with the blank page. You're not building that muscle as intensely.
Right. I'm editing, not creating. I'm a critic, not an author.
Exactly. The counter-argument, though, and this is important, is that AI massively increases output. So the theory is, even if you learn less per task, the sheer volume you get through, the higher throughput, kind of offsets that. You learn by seeing patterns across 100 projects instead of grinding through one.
So we're not getting dumber, just learning differently, more like pattern matchers. But that creates a gap, right? If the juniors aren't grinding, how do they become seniors?
That's the multi-million-dollar question. And it's where product coaching comes in. That's being flagged as the biggest missing piece in most companies right now.
And I'm guessing the solution isn't just hire more humans.
It's a mix. The trend for 2026 is that AI provides the scalable, always-on coaching for the day-to-day stuff. Syntax, process, basic frameworks.
Like a personal Stack Overflow that knows your company's code.
Exactly. And that frees up human leaders to focus on the high-level transformation, the strategy. The AI handles the how, the human handles the why.
So your AI manager nags you about your tickets so your human manager can talk about your career.
That's the ideal, yeah. Now, speaking of nagging and tasks, I found this concept in our reading just hilarious, but also kind of genius. The concept of I hate fish. I hate fish. It's a great metaphor.
Can you explain it? Because it sounds like a dietary thing, but it's a productivity system.
It is. The idea is that tasks are like fish. If they sit around too long, they start to stink. Most productivity systems fail because the maintenance cost, organizing the tags, moving the cards, is more work than just doing the job.
Guilty. My Notion board is a graveyard of good intentions.
We all have one. The I hate fish philosophy is about a deliberately hostile, minimal system. It just relentlessly prunes tasks. If a task sits there too long, the system assumes it's not important and kills it. It forces you to focus only on what actually matters.
I love that. Deliberately hostile. It's like a mean Marie Kondo for your to-do list.
But we need that hostility because of Parkinson's law.
Oh, right. Work expands to fill the time available.
And here's the 2026 twist. We were promised AI would save us time. Thought, oh, the AI will do my report and I'll go home early.
Yeah, that definitely did not happen.
No, it's the Jevons paradox. As technology makes using a resource more efficient, we just end up consuming more of it. AI boosted productivity, which just expanded the scope and expectations. Now you're expected to produce 10 reports in the same amount of time.
The bar just moved.
The bar skyrocketed. We're busier than ever. AI didn't replace workers. It just increased the workload density.
But it's induced demand. You build a wider highway, you just get more traffic.
Precisely. Which leads to burnout unless you have something like I hate fish to aggressively prune that demand.
So if we're drowning in work and the market values our software less and we're managing these chaotic agent populations, how does a product manager actually win right now?
The successful PM in 2026 isn't building a tool stack. They're building an AI-native operating system.
Okay, that sounds like a buzzword. What does it mean in practice?
It means moving away from fragmented apps and towards centralized context. We're seeing things like the MCP, the Model Context Protocol, become essential.
MCP, break that down.
It's basically a standard that lets different AI tools share context securely. It kills the copy-paste friction. The context travels with the work. So your coding agent knows what your design agent just did without you having to be the middleman.
So you're not the carrier pigeon between all your apps anymore.
Exactly. But the most practical tool we found is the AI delegation matrix.
I bookmarked this one. This is all about accountability, right?
Yes. Designing with AI means deciding who's accountable at each moment. The matrix gives you a framework for choosing between 3 modes.
Okay, what's mode 1?
Mode 1, human control. This is for high-risk, high-nuance stuff. The human is driving. The AI might watch or take notes, but that's it. Think strategic pivots, ethical calls.
Makes sense. Mode 2.
Mode 2, AI assistance. This is most of our work today. The AI drafts, the human approves, writing emails, coding basic functions. The AI does the heavy lifting, the human signs off.
And mode 3.
Is constrained autonomy.
Like we were talking about with the agents.
Exactly. The AI runs on its own, but within very strict guardrails. It can execute tasks, make low-level decisions, and report back. The win for a PM is knowing which mode to use for which feature. You don't want autonomy on a strategic decision, and you don't want human control on data entry.
It's like you're managing a portfolio of cognition.
That's a great way to put it. You're allocating brain power, both artificial and biological.
So let's zoom out. We've got vibe coding giving us infinite building power, but Parkinson's law is making sure we're drowning in work. And on top of it all, the markets are saying our software isn't worth as much anymore.
It's a sobering picture, but it's clarifying. The noise is gone. If your only advantage was being able to code, that's gone.
So what's the final takeaway for someone listening, the PM, the developer?
I think it raises a fascinating point about technical debt. We usually obsess over cleaning up code, but one of the pieces we looked at made a great point. In 2026, we're realizing technical debt is rarely a technical problem.
What is it then?
It's a symptom of human drivers. It's process debt. It's decision debt. If you don't fix the human process, the incentives, the communication, no amount of AI refactoring is going to fix the code. The AI is just a mirror. I mean, yes. If your organization is messy, your prompts will be messy, and the AI will just generate spaghetti code faster than any human ever could.
Yeah.
AI scales your dysfunction just as efficiently as it scales your productivity.
That is a heavy thought to end on. AI scales your dysfunction.
And no amount of vibe coding can fix a messy reality. You still have to do the hard work of being organized humans.
Well, on that note, I think I need to go apologize to my calendar agent. I think I heard its feelings, and I don't want to mess up its latent space.
You better check its emotional cues before you ask for anything else.
I will do that. Thanks for listening to this exploration of the product trends of 2026. We'll catch you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.